let's talk about Shavasana. Shavasana is a pose that's done at the end of every yoga class, and it's a very important pose. So please don't skip it, even if you find it challenging at first. Shavasana, literally translated, means corpse pose. The word asana means pose. So if you were wondering why every pose sounds like it rhymes, it's because they all end in asana. So the significance of the corpse in corpse pose is that when you die, that is the ultimate practice in letting go. You have to let go of all of your attachments in your life. And Shavasana is a practice in letting go. We lie down and we do nothing. And in this culture that tells us that we need to do more, we need to get more, we need to accumulate more, we need to be more, it's kind of a revolutionary practice to just lie down, do nothing, and sort of experience that you are enough in this moment just by virtue of your being. It also turns out that resting is really valuable for your overall health. So one of the things that happens when we rest in Shavasana is that your nervous system gets the processing time that it needs to integrate and assimilate all of the learning that you've done in your practice. When you relax, your nervous system also shifts into parasympathetic mode. So your autonomic nervous system has two branches, sympathetic and parasympathetic. Your sympathetic nervous system is your fight or flight response, it's your stress response. And a lot of us have chronic stress in our lives. So we can flip off our fight and flight response and flip ourselves into our relaxation response, or this parasympathetic nervous system dominance, in which all of your body's general maintenance and restorative, regenerative functions can take place. When you lie down and rest, your digestion improves, your heart rate decreases, your blood pressure decreases, your blood sugar levels decrease. There's just a whole cascade of effects that happen on your body that are very healing. And so while it may seem like you're actually doing nothing when you lie down on the ground, you're making space for your body to heal and to restore. And it's actually very important work. To set up for Shavasana, traditionally it's done lying flat on your back like a corpse. If that's not comfortable for you, that's totally okay. We're going to prioritize getting comfortable in Shavasana over making the architecturally correct shape. So I love lots of propping when I do my Shavasana. So I've got my bolster out here, I've got my blanket out. Normally I would also put on a pair of socks and a sweater so that I'm really, really warm for practice. You don't want any distractions. So the idea is that when you lie down, you can treat the pose like getting ready to go to sleep at night, right? It's very rare that the first position that you lie down in is the position that you fall asleep in. And we want to get comfortable enough in Shavasana to fall asleep, except that we stay awake. And this is another really valuable benefit of practicing Shavasana. You learn to be awake and alert and relaxed all at the same time. So as you lie back, you want to fidget all discomfort away, all niggling, irritating sensations until you get into a position that you feel comfortable enough to fall asleep in. So general guidelines here, we want to have the legs far enough apart so that your thighs and your hips and your buttocks feel relaxed. You need enough support under your legs so that your low back can relax. And some of you may require a lot of support for that. For me, this feels just right for my low back. Some of you may need very little support or none. And then arms come away from the sides and we turn the inner arms and the palms face up on the ground. Now the reason for that is your chest muscles are turned on whenever your arms are out in front of your body. And basically as human beings, our arms are always out in front of our bodies doing something, whether you're reading a book or texting or working on your computer or cooking a meal. We're designed so that our eyes face forward and our arms go out in front of us to engage and interact with the world. Your chest muscles are on the whole time you're doing that. In order to turn those chest muscles off, to undo, the arms need to be away from your sides, inner arms and palms face up so that these muscles can passively lengthen out. Now, if you can't relax in that position, again, prioritize relaxing over the guidelines to creating the shape that I've just given you. And you just keep fidgeting. Right? You can adjust the height that you have behind your head, so you may want a pillow or a blanket, or you may not. And then when everything feels just right, you settle in. From there, we might focus on our breath or focus on bodily sensations. And typically in a class, we stay in Savasana for a good 10 to 15 minutes. You are always invited at the end of class to stay in Savasana for even longer, even after I've ended the class, if you want to stay. So there's no time limit except whatever time constraints that you face at home, whatever you have to do next. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you in our standing pose practice.